excited to present today this panel. I'm just going to introduce this panel. My co-panelists would actually present their experiences about how their experience influenced their knowledge, their identity, and their teaching practices. So the title of our panel today. My name is 𝗙𝙗𝗪𝗏𝗏. I am an assistant professor in the Department of East Asian Studies at the University of Arizona. I am also an affiliated member in the doctoral program of second language acquisition and teaching. And I am also the director of the Fulbright-Hays project. Education plays a very important role in promoting intercultural communication. And so when I realized that there was this opportunity for a Fulbright-Hays project to create a project that would help educators, teachers, K-12 teachers, as well as community college and university teachers to understand their peers in a different country and also learn to speak each other's language and each other's professional lives. I wanted to see how study abroad, for example, a sojourn in China could actually help teachers shape their identity, intercultural identity, but also, how that would impact their teaching practices. I believe in grassroots level, human-to-human individual communication. My research talks a lot about peer interaction between college students in China and in the United States. And so I wanted to sort of recreate that model for educators.
It was a great privilege to be involved with so many amazing educators from so many different walks of life and experiences. That was one of the great benefits of the program. My name is Sandra Wong. I am a middle school educator. I was the sole middle school representative in the project, and also I hail from Kearney, Nebraska, which is quite distinct from Arizona.
Well, they share, obviously, they all share a common passion for, intercultural understanding and promoting multiculturalism in their individual school contexts. But they did come from different backgrounds. And so, and putting them together for a long time was a challenge for themselves too, right? And so they had to negotiate a lot of differences within themselves, but also between themselves and the Chinese peers.
We, of course, got to dialogue with so many other instructors and teachers in China, but I got so many ideas and also refined so many ideas through our conversations, as Sandra was mentioning, right? Like so many of these ideas came from our interactions together. And one of my favorite lessons that came from just our conversations is an argument lesson. Like I teach writing, like kind of introductory writing. And so this was an argument that was ongoing in our trip about, is a Cheeto a chip? And I was able to kind of use artifacts from Chinese grocery stores to have students compare and contrast what makes a chip. It was a way for me to take this idea that could be very textbooky, this is a thesis, this is an argument, and make it more vibrant, more meaningful, and also so much more interactive. And I never would have put this together without being in this environment.
We visit many schools in China. We visit an elementary school, a high school, and a private K-12 school while we were in China. And so they were very surprised, and I think I was one of the shock when they saw Chinese students being so quiet in the class, even at the elementary level. And they were surprised that the teacher did not even spend any time on disciplining a child, saying, oh, be quiet, listen to me. There was no moment of that. And we passed by another classroom in the high school when there was no teacher there. The whole class, everyone was just sitting quiet there, doing their homework, studying. And so all of the teachers were shocked because they didn't think that would be possible in the United States, at least in their own teaching experience.
Something that I was really looking forward to taking away when we got there, I knew we were going to have a big emphasis on education. And previously I had done units on classrooms and what the physical design of your classroom really means for a teacher, for a school, and for a country's values towards education. What does it mean when, no matter where you go, everyone is facing forward and they are sitting two by two by two by two, every single classroom that we saw. Why is it like that? Why does my classroom, why am I allowed to have a semicircle? Why do I have a semicircle in my classroom with my desk alignment? What does the desk alignment in your classroom say about your values, right? And eventually what I have my students do is I have them make a hybrid classroom. And I say, okay, you need to design a classroom on your own. You need to incorporate, show me that you understand Chinese values and put them in your classroom. And at the same time, understand your own values towards education. And so what I got the most out about, at least in terms of education, was the emphasis of values and how, not just in our classrooms, but how values can be found anywhere. Like how you talk to someone, how you order food, how you walk on the street, how you get on the subway. Your values are everywhere.
They had to reflect upon their experience, right? So, for example, one of the teachers wrote about her experience of, getting lost and asking for direction.
My phone was dying. I was alone, and I could not figure out how to get to the meeting place where everyone else was.
She was basically having no way of actually getting to where she needed to. Then she met this woman in China who was extremely patient to give her all these directions and actually did extra things to make sure that she got to the place that she needed to be. She was asking...
It was the simple kindness of a clerk who had better things to do that saved me in Nanjing tonight. And I wonder, just one human being to another, how would I have responded if our places were reversed? How do I respond? When I'm inconvenienced by another's lack or by another's language and culture, do I respond with grace or roll my eyes with impatience? And these are questions that I bring up to my students who, some cases, have very little understanding of diversity and are tempted to keep it at arm's length, even in our community.
So it's really a moment of reflection on, not just intercultural communication, but also the ways that we treat people from marginalized backgrounds who do not have the cultural and linguistic tools or understandings to navigate in the society that we are familiar with.
My students are bilingual already, the ones that speak Spanish as their first language and English as their second language. It's something normal. However, when they're in the classroom, they mostly speak English because that's what everyone speaks. I want to normalize speaking other languages in the classroom, even if they're learning a little bit of Mandarin here or there, or practicing a little bit of Spanish, because even some of my Caucasian students, they don't know Spanish, and so they're learning that too from their peers.
Maybe the fact that certain minoritized groups are underrepresented in a lot of foreign language and intercultural communication classes is because the way that we teach them is alienating.
So, some things that I took away: greater empathy and identity with my students, particularly those who struggle, greater awareness of educational inequity and the responsibility to advocate for students within my own system, increased ability and motivation to teach my students how to suspend judgment of customs they do not understand.
If we believe in the value of study abroad as a means to promote intercultural understanding, then we should promote that to teachers. We should make it more accessible to professional teachers who will bring the intercultural experience back to their classroom. And what could be more compelling and convincing to 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, when their teachers could tell them, they've traveled abroad, they've seen other parts of the world, and that there are different perspectives and different understandings of, things.